Hey ladies and gentlemen, Javier here with The Real Javier Novoa, the channel, platform, and the modality where we apply the principles of interiorism to rapid lifestyle transformation. And today I had not planned on making a video. I usually make a video at least 4-5 times a week, maybe 3 times a week. I usually do it every other day, and I wait until I get good and inspired to make the videos. But today here at The Real Javier Novoa, we had to do tribute. I just learned earlier today that the great Charlie Munger, a partner of Warren Buffett, had passed away. And as you know, all great men and men of wealth know these principles, the principles of interiorism, to a lesser or greater degree. And as you know, Charlie Munger was the partner of Warren Buffett. He was a value investor, and that's the school that I got started in, and I'm still pretty much aligned with the value school of investing. Of course, I bring a more intuitive approach as well, which they do as well. Just either they don't know it or they don't let on that they're knowing it. But great teacher. Charlie Munger was a great educator. If you want a well-rounded education, if you want a true education, I'd recommend reading Poor Charlie's Almanac, which were basically speeches and teachings by the great Charlie Munger. He was a polymath. He always did lifelong learning. And while I didn't agree with everything, especially some of his recent pronouncements about freedom and so on and so forth, and he sort of fell on the wrong side of that, but still, it doesn't matter because he was a great teacher. He's aligned with the School of Value Investing. And a lot of the principles that we teach on this channel are derived from value investing. And investing is a very important part of law of attraction, law of assumption, of interiorism. We're going to read a statement from Neville later to emphasize that. But you see how that's the case, because investing is like farming. As opposed to eating your seed corn, you invest it. That's also what separated the successful societies from less successful or more impoverished societies were their time preferences. That goes into economics and so forth. But I just wanted to pay our respects to the great Charlie Munger. Reading here from Zero Hedge, Charlie Munger dead at 99. According to the family, he passed peacefully this morning at a California hospital. He would have been 100 years old on January 1st. And he was still working, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, by working, it's probably exactly what we mean here by getting off the prison grid, because he was doing something that he loved. And for all of his life, from his mid-30s on, he was always doing something they loved. He and Warren were following their calling, because they don't live like wealthy people. They didn't live like wealthy people. They weren't just in it for the money, although they made a lot of money. But they were doing what they loved, and that was analyzing companies and making investments and basically choosing the trajectory of certain sectors of the economy. So it's a very interesting thing, and it relates a lot to what we talk about here. Berkshire Hathaway would not have been built to its present status without Charlie's inspiration, wisdom, participation, said Warren Buffett, who's also in his 90s and is still doing what he loves. Munger dropped out of college to join World War II, but he was eventually accepted into Harvard Law School. He began his career at Ring and Garrett, making $3,300 per year, when that was actually worth something, but not that terribly much. He met Buffett in 1959. They formed a partnership and so on and so forth. He had some great teachings, and he had some great basically aphorisms and some great tips, so to speak. And some of them, the basic ones, were just this. Charlie Munger's formula for success is simple and perfect. Spend less than you earn. Invest prudently. Avoid toxic people and toxic activities. Defer gratification. And never stop learning. Of course, this may seem Spartan, or shall we say, there's another really good word for it that's failing me right now, but there's a great word for this. It's basically to abstain from something, and it's late now, but we'll austere. This may seem austere, but remember, austerity is also embedded within the teachings of interiorism, because being austere means that you're not depending on anything in the outer. You're more on the inner. So you're able to defer gratification. Of course, we don't say defer gratification, it'll be misunderstood, but you're able to not constantly be looking on the outer, but rather you have the inner scorecard. And I believe the inner scorecard was a statement that was invented by Warren Buffett's father, a great, great man whom also one should research. I forget his name. Of course, his last name was Buffett, but I believe it was like Howard. I think his name was Howard Buffett. That was Warren Buffett's father. A great libertarian, great man of his own right. But I just wanted to read something about investing from Neville. Many of you may have heard this, but he said on the morning of April 12th, 1953, my wife was awakened by the sound of a great voice of authority speaking within her and saying, you must stop spending your thoughts, time and money. Everything in life must be an investment. Again, the voice of God, of course, told Warren Buffett, told Neville Goddard's wife, you must stop spending your thoughts, time, and money. Everything in life must be an investment. And then Neville goes on to interpret this. To spend is to waste, to squander, to lay out without return. To invest is to lay out for a purpose from which a profit is expected. This revelation of my wife is about the importance of the moment. It is about the transformation of the moment. What we desire does not lie in the future, but in ourselves at this very moment. At any moment in our lives, we are faced with an infinite choice. What we are and what we want to be. And what we want to be is already existent, but to realize it, we must match our inner speech and actions to it. If two of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father, which is in heaven. And of course this is from Matthew 18:19. It is only what is done now that counts. The present moment does not recede into the past, it advances into the future, because there is no past and present. To confront us, spent or invested. Thought is the coin of heaven. Money is its earthly symbol. Every moment must be invested, and our inner talking reveals whether we are spending or investing. So, and we're going to be. It's very interesting that this happened now. It's very serendipitous because we're going to be discussing inner talking in Neville Goddard's The Coin of Heaven. It is all your inner talking, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be teaching you how to do that, how to be more skilled and talented at that, so that you can know yourself as already being where you are. That's where you want to be, which is where you are. That is true investing. But be more interested in what you're inwardly saying now than what you've said by choosing wisely what you think and what you feel now. Neville goes on. Anytime we feel misunderstood, misused, neglected, suspicious, afraid, we are spending our thoughts and wasting our time. Whenever we assume the feeling of being what we want to be, we are investing. We cannot abandon the moment to negative inner talking and expect to retain command of life. Before us goes the results of all that seemingly is behind. Not gone is the last moment, but oncoming. My word shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. That's from Isaiah 55:11. So he goes on about inner talking, but this is investment, ladies and gentlemen. If you understand investing, especially value investing, which is rational and which is in accordance with just natural law, you understand interiorism. And when you understand interiorism, you will understand investing. That's why a lot of people who are into these modalities also go into investing. That's why I've been doing it for a long time. And something to study, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to invest, study Benjamin Graham, who was Warren Buffett's teacher. Study The Value Investors. And study also The Intuitive Investor by Jason Voss. There are many books we can recommend, but just paying our respects to the great Charlie Munger, and we know that he's still there, and now he's better than ever. He's doing greater than ever because he's free from any and all resistance. So, a lot of respect, ladies and gentlemen. This is Javier, and I will see you soon later on this week.